Can I just take charge of my show, ladies and gentlemen?
Public institutions. We are here at youth leadership.
Please take charge. Advice, can I just...
let us all prove.
I've given you the time.
I've given you a gazette notice.
Thank you.
To that effect.
We are discussing another tough subject matter altogether.
Yes.
And this is a matter that was substantively also dealt with by the court. So proceed.
Yes, and we have a court ruling.
Thank you.
So we can talk about what the court said.
We will not discuss the court ruling for now.
Hello, fellow Kenyan youths, and welcome back to another session of Manifesto Watch podcast. Today I want to highlight something that happened on Citizen TV in the morning as the host Ayub was hosting some youths in a discussion about the State of the Nation address. First of all, what I always wonder is why this news station usually hosts, when it's about youth, they host like 5 to 6 members, while on other issues, they just host 2 people who are mature. But maybe today we saw one of the reasons why, because they had invited 2 members of differing factions of the Jubilee party, and both of the people who are invited are recognized as National Youth Chair of the Jubilee party. One of them is called Advice Mundalo, while the other is called Angel Mbudia. So he started by asking Mr. Advice about the Ketraco deal, and instead of answering the question directly, this is what Advice said.
All right, Advice, what certainly came out yesterday was the projection of a listening president, but does it also reveal that the government overlooked or was putting Kenyans into an agreement that would increase electricity tariffs, as well as failing to do due diligence on this matter?
Thank you very much, Ayub, and it's been a long minute. And in the same effect, I would want to start by putting some clarification, Ayub, that first, I serve on the National Executive Committee of the Jubilee Party as the National Youth Chair. There has been a lot of attempts by the Citizen TV studios to change the leadership of the Youth League of the Jubilee Party. And I want to get that clarified, that I serve as the National Youth Chair of the Jubilee Party. And that is by deed of gazette notice of March 2022. And I've actually shared it with you so that we don't misinform the public. Because every time I've kept receiving phone calls by people asking me who is exactly the youth chair of the Jubilee Party. That is a matter in public domain. And I think by the fact that now you have the gazette notice, and I know Citizen TV can actually clarify matters. They can be able to call the Office of the Registrar of Political Parties. And Citizen TV can be able to give us details of the Adani deal. I'm sure matters of Jubilee are not too hard.
This prompted Madam Angel to also rebuttal to his claims when she was asked her own question. And she found a way to wind the topic that she wanted to answer into the question that she was actually asked.
And Angel, did it have to take us a whistleblower, then an indictment process in the US to inform a presidential decision to cancel contracts with a company that had rather been doing its affairs or carrying out its affairs across the world in secretive manner that was replete with corruption and bribery?
First of all, Ayub, now that we are talking about matters of integrity, I'd like to respond to my colleague here, Advice Mundalo, who claims to be the chairperson of the Youth League, is that I'd like to point out that his faction of the so-called Jubilee wing does not recognize the former President Uhuru Kenyatta as the party leader, and they do not recognize my Secretary General, Jeremiah Kioni, as the bona fide Secretary General. And his faction also has people who hold state offices, and they also want to be members of a political party, which is not allowed in our constitution. So I think it's a matter of time where now we as young people now focused on real things and be able to see what the kind of political machinations that are coming from this William Ruto government, where stifling political parties has become an issue. I was elected by members of the Jubilee Party on March in 2023 as the chairperson of the Jubilee Youth League and as a member of the National Executive Committee, where Mr. Uhuru Kenyatta is the party leader, and the Secretary General is Jeremiah Kione.
Parties have
Now,
gazette
moving-
notices, Ayub.
And there was a
So
court
the
order to that
leadership-
effect.
The leadership of political
Okay, I don't want us to... Okay,
is
just...
by gazette notice.
Let's not reduce this to a Jubilee Party matter, lady and gentlemen. Okay, can I
she has
just...
a gazette notice to the leadership of Jubilee Party. Political parties are
I think
public
Ayub-
institutions.
Ayub,
Okay,
we are
can I just take charge of my show, lady and
Please take
gentlemen?
charge. Please
Public
take charge, Ayub.
institutions.
we-
We are here at youth
Ayub,
leadership.
please take charge.
Advice, can
So
I
let
just...
us all prove.
I've given you the time
I've given you a gazette notice.
Thank you.
To that effect.
We are discussing another tough subject matter altogether.
Yes.
And this is a matter that was substantively also dealt with by the court. So proceed.
Yes,
to answer my
and we have a court ruling.
Thank
so
you
we can
to
talk
that
about
effect,
what
yeah.
the court said.
We will not discuss the court ruling for now because we have another important matter to discuss.
But let us not mislead the public.
Yes,
Angel
please.
Mbudia
Proceed
is
and make your
not-
submissions.
Thank
is
you,
not
Ayub,
the
for your
youth chair of
question.
the Jubilee Party, and that is the fact.
It is wrong that
So let her
our
prove the leadership
president had
of the
to
Jubilee
wait-
Party.
Had to wait for
If that
the
cannot be proven,
United
Ayub,
States
then
government.
let
Can
us
you just
not
respond to my
mislead the
question?
public.
Advice, let's have some order.
But in the order, let us also
I gave you
clarify
the
to
time to
public.
respond to my question. We
I
are
gave you
discussing
the
an
gazette
important
notice.
subject matter. We
And-
invited cordially, with respect, so that you respond to these issues in your capacity as a Kenyan, and let's not reduce
In my
the...
capacity, and in that capacity, Ayub, we serve in public
With respect,
office.
can we not reduce
And we
this show to political party
We
affair?
don't want to reduce it. We just want to be clear.
Kindly, then allow her to make her submissions.
And I have given you a gazette notice.
I gave
that
you the
can
time to
refer
respond to all what you wanted to say. Allow her to make her submissions.
And I have also given you a gazette notice which you can refer to.
Thank you, but allow her to make her choice as well.
But that means also the gazette
I
notice
am
has
the
to be
owner
taken
of the show.
effect.
Advice with respect, can she
I
make
do
her
not, I
submission?
do not refuse that you are the owner of the show, and this show is supposed to serve public interest. You're
Can we
supposed
be
to inform.
orderly then, so that everyone makes his or her submission?
And in our being orderly, we must be
Because of
factual.
time. Please, with respect.
With respect, we also...
Yes, Advice, make your point.
Let's be
I mean,
factual.
Anjo.
Thank you, Ayub. What I'd like to say about
Kindly share your comments. What do you think about these wrangles that are happening in Jubilee and spilling into the Youth League?